Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm super excited to introduce my guest today. We have with us Mandy Podlesny, who is an empowered eating coach who helps women ditch the diet drama, fix their relationship with food, and learn to love themselves confidently, even naked. Hi, Mandy. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your story. How did you end up doing the work that you do today?
Well, I know your podcast is really short, so I'm going to keep it super, super brief. But so I was plagued with autoimmune inflammatory disease since I was 19, went down this whole journey of trying to heal myself and really figure out natural ways because the medical community has not really been successful. And long journey of trial and error, having food relationship issues, emotionally eating, just super stressed out, not really seeing the results. So then we would self-sabotage. I finally found the power of pure therapeutic ketones as well as the low carb ketogenic lifestyle. And that has been a game changer for me. And so I started teaching that at first, and then I couldn't figure out why people weren't really sticking to it. And come to find out, it's because we skip steps and we think that meal plans and all of that is going to be the key to success when actually we have the key inside of us. We just need to unlock it. So I really help women do that and really just try to help people understand that you're actually set up for success in society with diets and the nutrition industry, the medical industry, and food industry is kind of working against you. And that's all conditioning. So I really help people break that conditioning down.
Amazing. Yeah. I've always said, and it's become more and more clear to me lately, that eating well is an act of resistance because it just takes a constant decision to opt out of the way that our culture, particularly in America, is set up to push you in terms of eating habits and lifestyle. So what are some of the first of all, I'm interested in keto and how specifically that benefits issues connected with autoimmune conditions.
Yeah. So, what we fuel our bodies with is how our bodies are going to respond. So, a lot of that is through diet and, lifestyle. But what is powerful about keto, and I absolutely love doing the ketogenic diet, but I'm very firm believer you eat to your goal, and utilize tools and supplements and things as well to optimize that. The reason why keto worked well for me and really keeps my inflammation at bay for the most part is because when your body goes into ketosis, meaning you're depleted of all of your sugar stores, so you have no sugar, glucose in your body starts to produce ketones. And those ketones are actually signaling to the cells like, hey, you need to do this. You need to give energy. You need to give focus. You need to decrease some inflammation. And our bodies it's a very therapeutic state. So a lot of people now, because of the keto buzzword think, and it is great for fat loss, but it's actually getting your body into the state where it's actually preferred. And we don't get into a ketogenic state because we like pizza and fruit and all of these things that don't allow us that. Whereas back in the primal days where we were hunting for food and things like that, our bodies, we needed to go into ketosis because how would hunters not eat for a couple of days while they're hunting for their food? So it's a survival mechanism, and your body actually adapts because you're restricting the sugar from your body. But because we don't do that now, and we have food available all day, every day, 24 hours, we don't do that. And then it's just a really, really, really therapeutic way to heal your body, give its body what it needs. And then you're eating no sugar. So that's obviously a positive as well.
Yeah, it's so interesting. And it's a diet that has piqued my curiosity, but I feel I'm mainly a vegetarian. I do eat fish from time to time more recently, but I've heard that it can be done to do the keto diet as a vegetarian. Is that true? Or is that really, really challenging?
I mean, I think, yes, you can get your body into ketosis regardless of what you eat. You can actually get yourself there through fasting. So if you just ate salads with no protein, and ate a little bit more olive oil on your salad or something like that, just to consume a little bit more fat, it's definitely able to be done. You just probably would have to prolong, just do a little bit more prolonged fasting. Or you can drink pure therapeutic ketones, which get you into ketosis in 30 minutes without having to do the diet. And that's kind of like my cheat code that I use as well. But but that's not like a full solution to body composition issues, poor choices, lifestyle habits, etc. So we just want to make sure we're not just supplementing and not doing a diet as well. But I think ketosis, and it would depend on what your goal is too, right? Like, are you trying to lose some weight? Okay, cool. You can probably lose weight without having to do an aggressive diet. You can just be more mindful of your food. And that's kind of what I'm navigating and teaching now. Because I think that teaching a restrictive diet, it's like only continues to set you up for like failure because you're still in that diet mode. Whereas we want to get out of the diet mode and into like more of a lifestyle.
Okay. Because my understanding was that keto was one of those things that like you get into it and then you stay in it. And then if you eat something that's not conducive to ketosis, then you're out of it. And then it's a whole thing to get back in again.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's like a chore. Like honestly, it takes 6 to 8 weeks for your body to get adapted to that state. And then you can get into ketosis and start producing ketones, but just because you're producing ketones doesn't necessarily mean they're doing like you're in that fat adapted state. Like there's a lot of things that need to happen first. So inflammation reduction, balancing your hormones, detoxing and all of that. And people just don't stick it out long enough to really optimize their body to get into that state. So it's super important to just, eat to your goal. And people stress out. They're like, I'm not in ketosis. It's like, okay, do you care about ketosis or do you want the result that you want? Like it's right. Two different conversations, but yeah, I love keto. I think it's great. But again, it's for a tool to use to get to the goal that you want.
Mm-hmm. Can you speak a little bit to navigating the challenges of making very strategic choices with diet in terms of, particularly when it comes to like socializing, because food is such a big part of the way that we socialize and connect with others, particularly if you're from like specific cultures that have food traditions. And, it can like really present a lot of genuine, like challenging and awkward moments and conversations with loved ones have to actually like navigate your strategic food choices. How has that journey been for you and obviously the clients that you're helping as well?
Oh yeah, it's definitely challenging, especially just we're in a social society where we like go to eat and, we don't always just cook at home and whatnot. So it's definitely a challenge, but every challenge we can either think of it as, oh, well, I can't because I can't, or we ask ourselves like, how can I? So it would come down to fundamentally, like, what are you committed to? Like, what's your why? Like, what's your outcome? Is your goal more important than having that meal? Think about those things. I also have this little thing where I say, okay, what would a person choose who loved themselves? Right? Not saying that you're not able to like enjoy your family traditions, whatever those surround food, because those traditions or those foods that are maybe like not on quote the diet doesn't necessarily mean it's going to completely derail it if you have some rice or bread or anything like that. Like that's not going to kill you. Don't give the bread power, but make small good choices around that by only eating a little bit and not a whole bunch. And then lastly, I do this thing, what I say is like trade and negotiate. It's like, okay, well, if I know that I'm going like to happy hour and like want to have a couple of slices of pizza and like a couple of cocktails, we'll go get a really good aggressive workout in prior. So then you kind of like earned it a little bit more. And then you're not just like eating and then not working out. You're doing the thing, like you're be able to make better decisions, or you're able to have that enjoyment food instead of worrying about, oh, well, I can't really do that. Like, sorry. It's like just enjoy the food if that's on your plan or that's your goal. Does that make sense?
Totally. Like you're filling up your health cup.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're negotiating on some of the things that support you.
Yeah.
I totally get that. And I just forgot the other question that I was yeah, it's such a big one, but I loved what you said, that thing of what would a person who loved themselves do? Because this is the thing about food, is there's food which is like nutrient dense and specifically nourishes your body type, and we have all these particular ways that we classify food, but there's also what I like to call soul food, you know, sometimes like you say, like eating, sharing a meal with your family and saying yes to something because it nourishes you in a different way. Like how do you kind of, I don't know, do you have any way of sort of navigating like that within the framework of kind of diet culture?
Yeah, I mean, I think like that enjoyment of a meal, like, okay, so we eat to enjoy and then we eat to fuel, right? So it's like, okay, we can have one meal. One meal is not going to like completely throw you off track, right? Okay, you made a little bit of a choice. You're giving more power to that meal because you then give guilt, shame, and justification around why you did it versus just being like, hey, I just want to go out with my friends and have chicken fingers and fries. I don't know, or just like it's okay to have that chicken fingers and fries. The problem is the chicken fingers and fries over and over and over again becomes a problem. So not giving that one meal power over you and all of your other choices because you're in a guilt shame cycle versus just being like, hey, I'm going to have chicken fingers and fries with my friend Sarah and we're going out and it's like no big deal, right? And then I hate that concept of like on and off again, but like I will get back on track or make a better decision the next time versus waiting, oh, I'm going to start Monday. Well, I'm going to just eat like a trash can all day long. Like those are language patterns and things that actually people say to justify that. But like, it's not that big of a deal. You can enjoy chicken fingers and fries on occasion and have it not be a big deal.
Yeah. And I think you've touched on like the real issue of diet culture, which is the narratives of guilt and shame and blame around our bodies and around what we eat. And that's the hardest part of it is, you know, the obviously like internalizing unconsciously so much of the time messages around what our bodies should be and shouldn't be, and just also a lack of information and a lack of education, and the fact that our culture generally is set up to make it harder to make healthier choices, even though obviously it is getting better and better and it is getting easier and easier, and to an extent that's mindset and habit change, right? But I really loved what you said about where am I giving my power to food? Where am I allowing this situation and this relationship with food to feel not good about myself, or to create a narrative that's not supportive or not making me feel good? And I feel like that's probably the trap that most women are in, who are constantly we're all constantly navigating other people's opinions of our bodies just as a result of the culture that we live in. So I presumably mindset is like a huge part of the work that you do.
Yeah.
Shifting those stories.
Yeah. I say the meal plan's not going to fix you. It's your mind. Like we have this conditioning that we need a meal plan, or we have to be on a diet or off a diet, or I feel bad because I'm not on a diet, or I want to do keto, or like, so that's that one component. Plus then you have your emotional trauma and all the other things that you've been through your entire life. How was your food relationships developed since you were young? And you might have, you know, the baby's crying, give them some Cheerios. Like you are literally conditioned from a baby to stop crying with food. I mean, that's how it's been in most of my own house and then my client's house. So you're already set up as a young child to fail. And then you have McDonald's. I'm loving it. Like Red Bull gives you wings. Like, it's just like these food, you're getting hit from all sides. So you're literally stuck in a trap. And in order to get out of the trap, you have to tap into your personal power, unlock yourself, and be like, hey, I don't need to listen to any of that narrative. I have to create my own. So
I love that. And what is the message that you really wish more people knew, you know, to have a more empowered relationship with food?
That willpower is never going to be the solution. Like trying to find willpower outside of yourself. It's like, okay, well, willpower only lasts so much because it's circumstantial, and you have personal power inside of you that you need to tap into. And that's literally what I do all day. It's like really teaching self-love and personal power and confidence, and, you know, that kind of like mindset around that, which contributes to your dietary choices. Because if you love yourself, you're going to make better decisions. So sometimes we just forget that we have personal power and that we need to re-love ourselves.
I love that. So how do you define the difference between personal power and willpower?
So willpower is like gearing up for Monday, right? Like, I'm going to gear up for Monday. I'm going to get on a diet and I'm going to get through it, right? And that's like needing willpower to get through a diet, right? Instead of, okay, I have personal power. I would like to today make a better choice than I did the last meal. So that's personal power, not giving that chicken fingers and fries the power. You have the power to be like, hey, I would like to have that chicken and fingers and fries. Okay, next meal, having a salad, going for a workout. Like that's personal power versus it takes way less energy to do that. But people don't understand that. And that's my job. But it takes a lot less energy to do that than it does to be like, all right, I'm going to do it. And then you deplete your energy when you quote unquote fail because you didn't have enough willpower, air quotes, to complete what you had designed to do or set out to do. And you're not a failure as a result. You just are relying on a temporary motivation versus just being motivated to do it for yourself.
Right. Like acknowledging your power to make a choice, not based on emotion, not based on habit, but based on your actual priority
and desire and like true outcome that you want, not what sounds nice or what you think you should do.
Right. Like replacing, like my desire is to eat pastries every single day, like I just did in Italy for the last week. My desire is to feel vibrant and healthy and to support my health and my longevity.
Yeah, no, and I love that. And I think even a week of pastries, in Italy, okay, cool. That's an experience, right? And I think that people forget that too. It's like, okay, this is like a once in a lifetime. I don't know if you're from there or whatever, but like, okay, I'm going to Italy. I want to enjoy all the pastries. I'm probably never going to go back there. This is my case. I'm going to eat all the pastries and all the pizza and all the pasta and everything that I want for the entire week because I want to have a full experience. But then when I get back home, I know, okay, well, I just did all of that. Okay, I'm probably feeling tired and carb overload and need to get some workouts in and lay off the wine and that's a life experience that you should tap into, but with the acknowledgement that like I love myself enough to know that one, I'm not going to give that entire week, and that entire week's not going to cause all of this other drama when I get home. I enjoyed my week, it was great, now I'm back. Okay, let's do the healthy thing of eating well and moving our bodies.
Totally. I love that, framing it as like food within life experience.
Yeah.
And aligning the choice with that. I love that. Thank you so much. This is such an important conversation. Thank you for sharing all of your wisdom with us today. And where can people find you? What have you got going on at the moment?
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Everybody can come to my website, mandyp.com, or follow me on Instagram at moremandyp.
Thanks, Mandy. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please like, subscribe, and go and review Creative Magic Club on wherever it is that you listen. And I will see you next week. Bye. For more inspirational content, head over to my website withsarahmac.com and please support the show by liking, commenting, and subscribing.